Hello. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I'm really excited about this session. We are talking about holding your customers' attention with video. We are going to be talking about the perfect length for video, what Doctor Who can teach us about grabbing and holding attention in business, 5 tricks to build engagement with video, and also why quick and punchy content isn't actually always the best option. So hello, I'm Rob. I am from Rob Wagstaff Content. It's my second year in running this business in Cambridgeshire. I'm a content marketing specialist and I specialise in video. I've been a videographer for over a decade now, with about 12 years, I think, with a wide range of clients. Some big names like Marks and Spencer, Barclays, PwC, Skoda, Tesco, and some loads of startups as well, and small businesses in Cambridge. I basically increase their potential customer engagement. My medium is obviously video and social media. So I work with different companies and double their watch time on their video content, basically. So I work with Syndicate Room. We doubled their watch time. Recently, Optibrium, they have 2.5 times watch time now. And I'm going to talk about a charity that I'm working with right now, and we are up 40% in their watch time. So it's going good, and that's in the first 2 months. Also, by the way, there's my LinkedIn at the bottom. Feel free to add me if you like what I'm talking about, because I post about this all the time on there. On the screen, you can see the different things that I do. So I do some filming sometimes. I do a lot of video editing. That's the little GIF you can see on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side are live streams that I've run. So I think I've done over 50 live streams now. That's me pushing some very colourful buttons, changing the camera and things. So let's get to it. Let's be honest. We are all distracted all the time. Everyone is distracted. Okay, hang on, sorry. I've got some emails coming in. Oh, my phone's ringing. I just need to answer that. Oh my gosh, there's a sale on Lego. Lego's really expensive these days. And my doorbell is ringing. Oh my gosh, it doesn't stop. Yes, okay, we are all very distracted. Be honest, your phone is probably on your desk right now, like me. If you're on your desktop or your laptop, you probably have your email app open. You've got your calendar app open, you've got your LinkedIn, maybe your Slack is pinging or your Teams is pinging. Your video content and your brand does not exist in the vacuum. There's all this stuff going on for you and your customers. I worked out recently you have about 6 chances a day to grab your customer. On average, people get a notification every 10 minutes. We know that people who are working say they are less focused in the afternoon. So you probably have between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to grab them. That's about 4 hours. If we do some maths, every 10 minutes for 4 hours, that's 24 chances of getting them. But there's also luck that plays a big part in this. We don't really know when that next distraction is going to come along. So for half that, that's 12 chances. And we also know that people spend on average 13 hours a day in front of a device where you could be putting your brand in front of their eyes. So that's about half a day. So it's half it again. You have about 6 chances today to grab your audience. That sounds like quite a lot. That's quite good, but it's actually reach we're talking about here. So that's just a chance of getting in front of them. Depends, where are they? Did they intend to watch your video? Are they on the tube? Like, is their internet about to cut out? Can they even listen to what your video is saying? Have you put subtitles on it? Did they intend to watch it? So 6 chances, but we want to hold their attention as well. So why are we talking about attention today? And I will also say engagement and retention. Retention is the length that you can hold attention for. It's to get eyeballs and to hold that attention on your brand. And I would say this is the best and cheapest lever you can pull versus, what are the other options? You have a budget and you pay for paid ads to get your content in front of more eyes, or you build an audience and you try and go down the organic route. And we all know that takes time. It can take months, it could take years, depending on your company. Engagement, attention, retention, it's all about getting your message across. Even down like the SEO route, it's useful to know that, like when you probably signed up to the webinar and I said, if you're getting less than 100 views on a video, it could be because of SEO that this video that you just posted, it might be good, but actually the one beforehand wasn't, and people didn't watch the whole thing. And so the platform you posted it on is not showing it to as many people as before. So you may have to pay for the reach, and that's why you do paid ads. But if you focus on your attention and engagement and retention, then more people are going to watch your future content. So that's why it's super important. And the same thing for actually on your website, because we know that Google prefers YouTube embeds then it will rank you higher. And if you're posting on YouTube, this whole thing means you have to have high engagement on your previous video for it to like your current video. So I have a quick example. I'm working with this charity right now. This is called Heather's Hedgehog Hostel. If you like cute hedgehogs, have a look at their Facebook page because we're posting videos and photos of very cute hedgehogs. I'm working with them right now, and we've managed to increase their watch time by about 40% over the last 2 months. And that has some real world knock-on effects. So they are having an extra 15 hours of watch time on their content that potential donors are looking at. And you can imagine what that would do. So when we then post about donating, we see that more people quicker will go and engage with that post and encourage others to do the same and then donate as well. But this is all with the same amount of videos as well. So you don't have to keep bombarding people with more and more to get more views on things. If you work on the quality of your content, get people to watch for longer, then you're getting the same, if not more, watch time. So it's about quality rather than quantity, basically. So let's start with number 1. We're going to study your past content. So these are retention graphs. I hope some people have seen these before, but if not, the idea is on the left, you have 100% of your audience is watching all the way through your video from beginning to end. This doesn't happen that often. I mean, you may have a very proud mum that would do this. It's impossible. Unless you're Tom Cruise, you're not going to get, let's say, 100 people, 1,000 people watch every single second of your video. On the right hand side, this is the worst case scenario. You do not want this to happen. That is that 100% of people start watching the video and then it drops to 0 within a second or two. This happens. It does happen. You don't want it to happen. Why does it happen? Because your video is probably bad quality. It could be bad quality for many reasons. Maybe it was clickbait. Maybe it is irrelevant for what they're looking for. Maybe you are trying out gated content. There's a pop-up that says we want your email before you can watch the rest of the video. That does work, but you kind of need it about halfway through the video, I think, because you need to hook them into the content. If you're trying to do it straight away, people just aren't going to watch the video. It also happens, and I've seen this graph quite a few times, when people do a webinar like this, but they join in remotely on their phone, and the audio quality is awful and it's compressed. And you can imagine as a customer or a potential customer, you start watching this on-demand webinar and the audio is bad, and you can see that it's going to be going for another hour. You can be like, no, not for me. I'm going to not watch this. And you can multiply that by as many people that watch it, and you get graphs like this. And it's bad, because then your next video that you post out, no one's going to watch that either because the platform will not share it with them. So what do you actually want? You want a graph that looks something like this. You have a very natural drop off near the beginning, because there will be some people that go, this video isn't for me. You will get a drop off near the end because people go, okay, I've got everything I need out of this video. They're saying goodbye now, I'm going to leave. Maybe you've put your company logo at the end and your call to action, and people actually click that call to action. So it's absolutely fine that people are leaving in the last few seconds. And generally you will get a slope that goes down through the video, so that is people leaving gradually over time over the video. That's fine, it's quite normal, as long as there isn't a sudden drop at some point in your video. That's why it's useful to watch this sort of thing, because then you can work out what do people like. And also you get percentages. So I would say that 60% average retention is good. You're looking for something over 60%. If you're a 70% or higher, do more of that kind of video. You've found something gold there. So what we're going to be talking about in this webinar today is this center graph. We're going to try and lift that up as high as we can go. We're going to try and reduce that curve at the beginning as much as we can. And we're going to try and chop off that end if we can, so we don't have so much of a drop off. So we're going to try and be Tom Cruise. We know we can't quite get there. We're going to try and do all those things. So what is the perfect length of video? This is a very fun question. I love this question. I am interested in what you think the answer to this question is. Don't type it in the chat. I want you to type it, but do not hit enter. And I think we're all going to hit enter at the same time, so we don't get influenced by other people. Do you think it's a few seconds? Do you think it's a few minutes? Are you going really high? Are you going to go for a few hours? Type it into the chat, and I'm going to count down. We're all going to hit enter at the same time. So 3, 2, 1. Hit enter. Go. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, there's quite a few. 60 seconds, says Lara. Isabel, 40 seconds. Got a minute from Sarah. 45 seconds from George. 5 minutes, Jonathan. It depends, yes, very good, Majid. Up to 60 seconds from Mandy. Okay, I'd say we're generally 3 minutes is the max. I think a few people are going for like a minute or less. Okay, at 1.5 minutes, Pauline. Okay, right. This is interesting. Okay, well, what have I got on here then? 3 minutes. Now, bear with me. This is what I hear all the time. I've worked in video for over 10 years. Everyone says, let's make a 3-minute video for our business. And yeah, I mean, that's okay. Yeah, you got a 3-minute video on your website. Great. People say, let's make a 3-minute video for my website. Let's do it for LinkedIn. I think so. I think that's fine. But I don't think it's based on anything. I think everyone always says, let's just do a 3-minute video. And I mean, what are you basing that on? Probably the fact you've heard someone else say the same thing. So that's fine as a baseline, because it is fine. Retention graphs, we can see some people will last that long, but you will get a slope. What else do we have here? Whoa, hang on. Vine came in about 10 years ago saying 7 seconds. For anyone who doesn't remember Vine was basically TikTok for its time, and all the clips had to be 7 seconds long maximum. They were saying that human attention spans were 7 seconds, and it kind of worked. I mean, everyone loved Vine at the time. It was good for entertainment and for a good laugh, because you could make a quick joke in 7 seconds, and before anyone's had a chance to think, I don't like this video, I'm going to swipe to another one, the next one's already started. So 7 seconds is also a good contender. But hang on, whoa, okay, Hollywood says 2 hours. It depends what the film is, obviously. You know, if you're Titanic, it might go up to 3 hours. You could actually hold attention for 2 hours if you wanted to. Be aware, people are sitting in a cinema, maybe, if they're not watching Netflix. They are going into a dark room and they are intending to watch for that whole 2 hours. But it can be done. What else do we have? We have an hour. We are here. Hello, we're on Zoom and we are doing a webinar. I'd say that if you are doing a live event or a webinar, 1 hour is actually a really good time, because if you're a business, you can put an hour aside, you can put it in your calendar. It's just a slot in the day, and that's absolutely fine. You don't put a calendar entry for a 3-minute video, you do it for something that's 30 minutes or an hour. So it works for live events, especially business. YouTube's like, hang on guys, we worked it out, it's 10 minutes. This was probably about 10 years ago. All the creators were finding that they can get ad revenue if they hit the 10-minute mark. It's now more like 20 minutes or more. You're probably seeing that on your YouTube feeds. This also works, and there are different techniques to get people to watch for that long. And there is a one last one here that I think most of you have said, it's the 1-minute video. We're seeing this everywhere now. We're seeing it TikTok, we're seeing it on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. LinkedIn's playing the game now. You're going to see these portrait videos popping up in your feed. Everyone's watching this sort of content. It's the short video. You can use it to grab attention quickly. The point I think I'm trying to make in this slide is that the perfect length of video is whatever you want it to be. It depends on the context and what you're trying to say in the video, who you're trying to target, and why you're saying it. Let's move on. If you're doing short video, you need to get to the point right now. So we're going to start with short stuff and we're going to move on to longer stuff. This is short. Get to the point, please, because people are distracted. They are very distracted. This is the 1-minute kind of video. Oh, hang on. Let me just... Sorry, I've got an email coming in. Now my computer itself is telling me I need to update it. I don't have time for this. I'm doing a webinar. Okay, right, let's just get rid of these. And this GIF is quite distracting as well. So this is Carly Rae Jepsen's Cut to the Thing, by the way. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, everyone's distracted. We need short content to get past that distraction. And we're seeing this not just in video, we're seeing this across different industries too. Music, it's the same thing there. So with my example of Spotify, artists are finding that they have to game this 30-second payout. If people don't listen for more than 30 seconds, then they don't get paid. So they are starting to front load these songs with the chorus to grab attention. And this is a real thing. The average intro was 20 seconds in the 1980s. It is now down to 5 seconds. This is happening. And the song title comes in 18% sooner than it did back then. So I went and looked at the top tracks that Spotify tells me from the 80s. We had Dancing Queen, 34 seconds before they sang Dancing Queen. Aha's Take On Me, 51 seconds. Toto's Africa, a minute 29. And then I used Now That's What I Call Music from last year. Apparently it still exists. But that said, Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, I had a count, 18 seconds. Billie Eilish, Lunch, 6 seconds. And Carly Rae Jepsen there in the middle, because it's kind of like you're showing the evolution of this. Cut to the Feeling, 38 seconds. It's all happening. Even tempo has increased by 8% in the last 30 years. Before you start get angry at the people who are causing this, it's not the listeners. It is the people making this content. They are reacting to the platforms in which they are on. Because if you think about it, back in the 80s, 90s, noughties, people heard a song on the radio, they'd go and buy the CD, they'd take it home and they'd listen to it over and over again. Now you've got infinite number of songs. What are you going to do? You're going to get, this week, here's 50 songs that you might like. You're going to go and click each single one of them, quickly listen to them. You're not going to listen to the entire 3 minutes of each song. That's why you need to front load the song with the hook, basically. And so let's go to video. This is happening in Hollywood. They're struggling with exactly the same thing. They're having to react to the platforms too. So let's talk about trailers. In the cinemas, they would normally just play a trailer and you'd get like a really moody feeling, and then they'd start hinting at something, and then you have a big build up, and then you go, wow, yeah, it's the new Transformers film or something. It's not in a vacuum either. They're playing these trailers on YouTube, on Instagram, anywhere on the website. This is why you are now seeing at the beginning of trailers, trailer starts now. It's a 5-second trailer before the trailer starts. People can skip trailers. People can swipe away from them. YouTube's got a 5-second skip button, just basically reacting to the platform. So in this case, we can see that it's Transformers in the first few seconds because we see a Transformer and it says Transformers. You know, it's the same for Doctor Who. There was a trailer before the trailer. We see David Tennant's face. We see a blue TARDIS police box and the logo Doctor Who. We know it's Doctor Who. And the same for Alien. You may not like Alien, but you know it's Alien because you see an alien in the first second and then the massive word alien fills the screen. We don't have time to build this emotion that you would maybe think. If you are making a video about something in Cambridge, we do not have time for sweeping shots of fields, you know, maybe of the Cambridge skyline. We don't have time to show close-ups of metal for the Alien trailer. We just need to show an alien. If you are a cycling business, you want to show a bike in your first 5 seconds. This rule appears everywhere. These are real retention graphs, and I know they're real because they're from videos that I've made. So this was very interesting. I noticed that we have this sharp drop off at the beginning. You're losing 33% of your viewers in the first few seconds, and it was quite consistent across most of the videos I looked at. What happens to that green dot there? I'm interested if you have any ideas in the comments, because it was the same thing that happened where the drop off stops and it levels out a bit. Any ideas quickly in the comments? Finish explaining what the video is about. You make the main argument, assuming it's probably autoplay. Okay, interesting. What happened there was, whatever the subject was, the person who was talking in the video started addressing and talking about what was in the title of the video. So say it was a video about traveling to Spain. That green mark happens when someone says, I'm in Spain and this is what I'm doing today. You know, the intro may be someone getting in a car, you know, a quick time lapse of them on the plane, landing, getting to their hotel or something. And then they're like, this is what I'm doing in Spain. Hi guys. I'm trying to make the point. You need to get to the point. You need to talk about what your video is about straight away. Do not set the tone if this is a short video. This is my quick example, a video I did for the Summer Olympics. It was a fun video. It did pretty well. It got 2,000 views, 70% retention, so that's good. So I should be doing more of this sort of thing. It was a quiz. I put it on LinkedIn, I put it on YouTube. It was me doing camera moves based on different sports. So if I'm going up and down, this is trampolining. If I'm going side to side, this is tennis. I'm trying to show at the top, the ideal short video has a hook. Then you have your main chunk of content and you quickly try and end it really quickly, maybe loop it through back to the beginning. But I noticed in this retention graph, it has a point where it starts going down. It looks like I've done a good job here at the beginning. I've held attention. But then something has happened here. I failed on something. And interestingly, if you look too soon at these graphs, which I did, and I got very excited, the retention was above 100% in certain parts, which is really good. And what was actually happening is, because it's a quiz, people were going back and rewatching certain bits that they couldn't work out. Take note of that, because you could use that in future. What happened here? I took a pause. I thought it was a good idea to have a little joke that, like, oh, it's going to get even harder, guys. I'm going to have to warm up for the next few questions. I broke the concentration of everyone, clearly. That was a really bad idea. So it turns out, don't use humour. Just get to the point and stay on the point. Do not let that attention go. And you'll also, by the way, notice there is no animated logo at the beginning or end of this thing, because we're trying to just get to the point quickly and hope we're grabbing attention. We're not trying to create a call to action here. Let's move on. We're going to talk about a longer video content now. Which loading bar to you is more annoying? Which one frustrates you the most if you were to see this on your screen? There technically is no answer to this because it's just for you. I will tell you which one is the most annoying. People are saying the 1 hour, 2 minutes to Sarah, 1 hour to Steve, 1 hour. Okay, this is interesting because it's the opposite answer to what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the one that's more annoying is the 2 minute loading bar. Why do I say that? Because if it's a 1 hour loading bar, you can walk away. You can do something else. You know, maybe you're staying on the laptop and you're going to be doing something else. If it's 2 minutes, it's like you're chained to the laptop. You have to keep working on you have to stare at it. You can't go and make a tea in that time. You can't leave. You've got to go and watch it. And then maybe there's more loading bars that are only 2 minutes long after that. That's your entire day taken up. You're going to be looking at this stuff for the entire day. You can't go and do something else. This is why we're talking about long form content. And it's not all about trying to chain the person to that piece of content and watching it. They are allowed to lean back, look away. So here we go. This is why I would say that long form content is more distraction proof. We know that you're going to go beyond that 10-minute distraction. You know, if something pops up on your phone or on your computer, it's going to happen because your video is at least 10 minutes long or longer. That's okay. You're sort of going into it knowing that that person is going to start second screening. So they're going to look at something else while your video is playing. Examples of this, live events. You know, these things are 30 minutes, they're an hour long. You might have this playing. I mean, this I think is a Sony event, but this could be anything, could be an Apple event, could be your company's event. Webinars. Hello, this is us right now. It's quite likely that you aren't actually watching the screen right now. So hello to everyone who is not actually watching the screen, but they're just listening. That's absolutely fine. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to listen in. This is your working day. You probably had something happen, an email's come in. You know, you are back to LinkedIn or something's happened. It's absolutely fine. Interestingly, before I go on, live content, and I know this because I've run over 50 and I've done the stats and the maths. People watch for 2.6 times longer when a video is live than if the exact same event is on demand afterwards. Interesting to note. Probably because they are doing something like that. They know that if they can't pause it for a start, so they have to keep watching it. So they'll at least run it in the background if the doorbell rings. Also, because they just know that the person who's actually making the video is putting in the same time that they are. Other ideas for long form content. Video podcasts. So it's exactly the same as a podcast, but in video format. And these will work in the same way as the short content at the very beginning. You'll see very quick coming up clips, and then it will sort of lean back and let you just second screen it. Maybe it's running in the background somewhere. We've also got product demos. I've now forgotten the name of this lady, but she runs weekly live sessions in her fabric shop, and she goes through all the new products that she has. And the same with things like unboxing videos for your products. I mean, this advent calendar unboxing video is very, very retention heavy because you want to stick around to see every single tile that she's opening. I'm going to throw in an odd one here that you may not have thought of. Co-working videos. You can film yourself working and upload that to YouTube, and people will watch it, and they will watch it for an hour. This is a real thing. Yeah. There are some interesting ideas out there. It works. People like body doubling, and they like to have things running while they're working, whether it's music or video of other people working. And this last one isn't a video, it's a video game. And I think this is a really cool example of second screening. This is Fortnite, okay? And they do this, I think, for the last few years. It's a fireplace at Christmas. You can leave it running on your TV, and every minute or two, you'll get points that come out of the fire. Why is this cool? And why is this a really good idea? Well, because you're probably going to be playing this in the background while you're having your Christmas dinner or your opening presents. And it works to constantly remind you in the back of your mind that you're going to be playing Fortnite later. Even if your grandma gets you that really cool present that you've always wanted, you're still looking at the corner of your eye at Fortnite, and you're still reminded that whatever happens, I'm still going to be playing Fortnite. So this is all about trying to get people to just spend time with your brand. They don't have to be constantly looking at it, but you're there and you're present in the background at least. Oh, okay, sorry, I might have got an email from the boss. Like, yeah, these distractions coming in, but it's fine because, oh, it's snowing. It's fine because the videos are still playing in the background. I'm not going to stop watching them. Number 5, if you're going to be doing long form content and you want people to be watching the whole thing, you want them to be engaged, we can take some really good inspiration from entertainment and specifically game shows. Because if you think about it, what would Deal or No Deal be if you got handed your box and you opened it? I mean, technically it's the same game. You get the same result. You get given a number of money and you get to open it and find out how much you won. Well, okay, what actually happens? We have some escalations. We need to create some drama. We have a phone that rings with a banker that gives you optional payouts all the way throughout. We have other boxes you can pick. Does it make much difference? Sometimes no, because you don't even get the option to, swap at the end. But we also have things like people behind all those boxes. We don't need those people there. It could be a crew member that just runs along to a box that you asked to open. But we have the people there because we want to create drama all the way throughout the video. You have Maggie over there. She's like, I believe in you. You can do this. Yeah, you go. I've got 3 children and they all think this is the box. And then you've got Arthur over there who's like, I think this is the 1 penny. Are you sure? And you start building these stories and then you come back to these people throughout. We're creating stories, we're creating drama. It hooks you into it throughout. And countdown. What's a really good way of hooking someone when you have to go to an ad break and you might lose them? You give them a conundrum. They really want to come back just to at least know the answer to that conundrum. And I'm going to leave this here because I will come back to this. So you're going to have to keep watching, get the answer to that. A really good example of this is a Netflix show, Run for the Money, that I love. It's basically hide and seek. It's Japanese, I think, and it's dubbed in English. It's great. They basically set out that you're going to be running away from these hunters, and then by the end, there's going to be 100 hunters hunting you. It works really well. But essentially, you get to the end, the producers know they're going to have 100 hunters, which means they can work backwards from there and then slowly increase them over time. So you have things like you start with 20 of them, and then you start introducing them into the game. There's like optional missions where you could try and earn more money. But by doing so, you're going to come out of your hiding place. You could have one player as a mole, so you don't want to interact with them. It creates more drama, and then you learn about the people that are playing the game, and then you have countdowns. Just think about, I'm trying to get you to think creatively about how you can escalate your content here. We have this with more business-related things, so like the Apple conference. We all know that they're going to get to their biggest thing right at the very end. They're going to tell you all the cool stuff they've been working on that year, and then they're going to go, but there's one more thing, there's still one more thing happening. This is an explainer animation that I worked on. I knew I wanted to end it with hundreds of these planets, which means I started with just a few, and then we build and build and build. We have loads of them by the end. Think about it like the musical, because you have songs that are proper belters by the end, like Wicked recently, but you start quietly, and it's the same sort of concept. You build and build and build. Even the most basic thing, you've probably seen interview videos. This is one I did. And you start with the widest shot you have with the person just sort of slowly introducing the company. And you end with the closest shot with the person, the most excited they could possibly be about their company at the end. So let's put this into practice. Everything we've learned so far. Here's a script. I've cut it down for this webinar for a video. Hello, welcome to this week's video about getting more customers engaged in your videos. A good way to start a video is with an opening hook. Follow this by showing what you said you'd do in the title. That way your audience will be happy and watch to the end. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Now, this is okay, but what have we learned? We need to cut to the feeling. This thing is annoyingly slow to start. We do not need to say hello and welcome to this week's video. People have already clicked into it. They just want to get what they've clicked for. So we're going to just chop that out. Let's just show you what I've got at the end. And this is a real video that I actually did. It had 67% retention. So it's good. Need to do more of it. Other things you can do, pepper in hooks into your script. So you don't need to just have a hook at the beginning. You can add them in throughout to get people to watch for just a little bit longer. So leading language like here's how, or for example, or the result. And it's going to get people to watch just for that 1 second longer because they need to know what the result is, or they just need to know what the answer to that example is. Very mini hooks, but you can add them throughout your script. Also, there is no ending. I don't say thank you for watching the video, please subscribe or anything like that. You just cut. You get to the end. That's that drop off we saw in the retention graph. We can reduce it dramatically by just cutting as quickly as we can at the end of the video before you start saying ending language by like thanks or bye. We just don't say that anymore. So we have all these distractions. They're everywhere. I wonder if they've all been popping up for you during this webinar. This is all about how you tackle distractions. There are many, many ways you can tackle these distractions and get engaged customers. You can get to the point. You can create curiosity if it's longer. You can escalate. Do things like mini hooks, what if, or coming up in this, and this is what I did in the webinar today, trailer starts now. We haven't really talked about pattern interrupts, but that's also another thing, like having cutaways every few seconds so that it doesn't become visually boring. I can't do that so much in a webinar, but if this was an edited video, I'd have all cutaways of all sorts of things going on. I've also written I bet in there. It's kind of like a coming up. It makes you want to know the result of that thing, and you can do that early on in the video. There's so many different things you can do. So just quickly to say that this is what I do. I work with companies and increase their engagement in their video content. What I do is I analyze your content, I see what's working and what isn't working, and we're brutally honest about it. You know, I don't want to say, wow, it's going great when we want to improve things. I'll then build a plan for your next video and videos to come, and then we'll look at the uploads once they're done and analyze results and keep going and loop it round until we get to at least double the engagement. So thank you very much. Does anyone have an answer for the countdown conundrum, by the way? I'm just interested if anyone got it. Yes, it's subtitle. Well done, Sophie.